The global economy is a delicate dance. Nations, like partners on a ballroom floor, rely on each other for a smooth and prosperous performance. However, the music has changed, and the United States and China, two of the most powerful dancers, find themselves locked in a trade war, their steps becoming increasingly aggressive. What began as a series of strategic maneuvers to protect domestic industries has escalated into an economic standoff with far-reaching consequences. At the heart of this conflict lie tariffs, those economic penalties that act like stumbling blocks on the dance floor. The United States, in an effort to pressure China to reform its trade practices, particularly in areas like intellectual property rights and government subsidies, has levied a series of tariffs on Chinese goods. These tariffs, some as high as 100%, are designed to make Chinese products more expensive, thereby encouraging consumers to choose American-made alternatives. However, China, a formidable economic power in its own right, has not taken these measures lying down. In a calculated response, China has retaliated with its own set of tariffs, targeting key American industries and sending shockwaves through global markets. This tit-for-tat exchange of economic blows has created a climate of uncertainty and volatility, leaving businesses and consumers wondering who will make the next move. Growing car markets. as a global leader. Slowing down the adoption of this cleaner technology. Of these often overlooked elements. The global semiconductor industry, already grappling with a chip shortage that has disrupted production lines and delayed product launches across multiple sectors, faces a new threat: the escalating trade war between the US and China. These two economic global chip-making landscape. forcing American automakers to consider a range of options, from absorbing the increased costs to passing them on to consumers to shifting production to other countries. Discretionary items like clothing. As the trade war unfolds. Section 3, from globalization to regionalization, trade blocs take shape. The trade war between the United States and China, far from being an isolated bilateral dispute, is acting as a catalyst for a broader realignment of global trade patterns. As tariffs rise and trade relations become increasingly fraught with uncertainty, countries around the world are re-evaluating their economic alliances, seeking to forge new partnerships and strengthen existing ones to navigate the changing tides of global commerce. The era of unfettered globalization, characterized by seamless cross-border flows of goods and capital, may be giving way to a new era of regionalization, where trade blocs and regional agreements play a more prominent role in shaping economic destinies. The European Union, a long-standing champion of free trade and multilateralism, now finds itself caught in the crossfire of the US-China trade war. While seeking to maintain its own economic interests and protect its industries from unfair competition, the EU is also grappling with the challenge of preserving the rules-based international trading system that has underpinned global prosperity for decades. The trade war, in essence, is testing the EU's commitment to free trade principles and its ability to act as a counterweight to the rising tide of protectionism. In Asia, the trade war is accelerating the formation of new trade blocs and strengthening existing ones. the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, a massive trade agreement encompassing 15 Asia-Pacific nations, including China but not the United States, is poised to become the world's largest trading bloc, accounting for nearly a third of global GDP. This agreement, seen by many as a sign of China's growing economic clout, aims to lower tariffs, streamline trade procedures, and promote investment among its member countries, potentially shifting the center of gravity of global trade away from the West. Section 4, Made in America again, the push for domestic production. The trade war, with its tariffs and trade barriers, has reignited a debate that has simmered for decades in the United States. The balance between globalization and domestic production. As American companies grapple with the rising costs and uncertainties of sourcing goods from China, the allure of bringing manufacturing back to American shores is gaining traction. The Made in America label, once relegated to niche products and patriotic marketing campaigns, is experiencing a resurgence as a symbol of economic patriotism and a potential solution to the challenges posed by the trade war. The Trump administration, with its America First agenda, has made the revitalization of American manufacturing a cornerstone of its economic policy. Tariffs on Chinese goods, seen as a way to protect American jobs and industries from unfair competition, are intended to incentivize companies to shift production back to the United States. The administration has also touted tax cuts and deregulation as measures designed to create a more business-friendly environment and attract investment in domestic manufacturing. However, the reality of reshoring manufacturing is more complex than the rhetoric suggests. While some companies are exploring the possibility of bringing production back to the US, many are finding that the costs of labor, land, and regulatory compliance are significantly higher in the United States than in many other countries, including China. The trade war, in essence, is forcing American companies to weigh the potential benefits of domestic production, such as shorter supply chains and greater control over quality, against the higher costs and potential complexities of operating in the United States. Resilient economies.
I was built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on the gas, never stop competing. If you break my glass, then this life's gonna end.
I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name. Check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change. Possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints. Money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be. Living in a time where disease is on every screen. I won't let them fester me, I know most are festering. Negativity is a plague for the mentally weak. No mercy, all I got is working. Never stop searching, never quench the thirsty. I'm toxic and psychotic with this logic, you can't stop it. It's been chronic since I was a boy, so neurotic and chaotic.
Built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving.
life's gonna eat 'em. Make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em. If you take off the cast, you can see all the healing. If the pain's in the past, move on from the grave and put your foot on the gas. No, never stop competing, yeah. I've been doing this, I'm on it. I just wanna be iconic. Sipping on a gin and tonic, got me going off when I'm on this topic, yeah. If I ever play, I want it. You know that I'm always honest. Stay away from those who are toxic. Keep them out your face, no way, you don't want them, yeah. Don't try to drain my energy, the enemy.
While also strengthening its own economic autonomy. Its economic dependence on both the US and China. deep economic and cultural ties. More diffuse, alliances are more fluid, and the rules of the game are constantly in flux. Security, geopolitics, and the transition to a cleaner energy future. Section 2, the Shale Dilemma. American energy independence at a crossroads. The US shale revolution, which transformed the United States from an energy importer to a net exporter, is facing new challenges as the trade war with China disrupts global energy markets. The trade war has exposed both the strengths and vulnerabilities of the US shale industry, prompting a debate about its role in a rapidly changing energy landscape. Section 3, China's energy gambit forging new partnerships. China, driven by a relentless thirst for energy, is diversifying its sources of oil and gas and forging new partnerships that have the potential to reshape the geopolitical landscape. China is aggressively pursuing energy diversification, strengthening ties with Russia, and deepening its energy relationships in the Middle East. Section 4. Renewables in the balance. Will green energy get a boost? The US-China trade war is creating both challenges and opportunities for the global clean energy sector. disrupting supply chains but also injecting urgency into the clean energy race. The trade war may prove to be a catalyst for innovation and competition in the clean energy sector as countries and companies vie for leadership in a rapidly growing market. Section 5, a new energy order, the geopolitics of oil and power. The US-China trade war is reshaping the geopolitical landscape, accelerating a transition away from a US-centric energy order toward a more multipolar world. China's growing energy partnerships with countries like Russia and Iran are challenging the United States' ability to dictate the terms of global energy trade. Section 1. The innovation imperative, adapting or falling behind. The trade war is forcing businesses to innovate, adapt and pivot quickly to thrive in a new era of great power rivalry. Companies that can harness the power of innovation to create new products and anticipate future market trends will define the next chapter of the global economy. Section 2. The consumer crunch. Navigating a landscape of rising prices. Consumers are facing rising prices and shrinking purchasing power, forcing difficult choices about spending and saving. The trade war's impact on consumer behavior extends beyond shifting spending patterns, fueling anxiety and uncertainty about the future. Section 3. A house divided. The perils of protectionism and decoupling. The US-China trade war represents a fundamental clash of economic philosophies and a growing divergence in strategic visions. The decoupling of the world's two largest economies could lead to a more fragmented and less efficient global economy with profound geopolitical implications. Section 4. The road ahead toward a more resilient and responsible global economy. The trade war presents an opportunity to rethink and rebuild a more resilient, sustainable and equitable economic system. Companies and governments must invest in regional manufacturing, diversify supply chains and enhance domestic competitiveness to navigate future disruptions. Sustainable and equitable future. Section 1. The unraveling, a global tapestry under strain. The global economy is showing signs of unraveling, with the US-China trade war creating ripples of disruption felt worldwide. The trade war has become a referendum on globalization, forcing a reckoning with its shortcomings and the need for a more equitable and sustainable model of economic development.